Well, let's get more on those protests here in the UK against Mr Netanyahu's visits. And as we were saying, protesters have gathered outside Downing Street. Our correspondent Frances Read is there and we can join her now. Frances.
Hello, yes, there's probably about a couple of hundred protesters here. It's gone down from the over 1,000 that it was earlier. There were police horses lining the street earlier, as well as police dogs, a big police presence here. Because, of course, Benjamin Netanyahu was meeting Rishi Sunak, and it's, absolutely certain that they would have been able to hear the protesters here and coming out because they're concerned and say they're concerned about the status of democracy in Israel and the weakening of the judiciary there. I'm joined now by one of the protesters who've come out today, Judy Peritz Wynne. Judy, can you just tell us, first of all, why did you want to come out here today? Can you tell us a bit about that?
As an Israeli living in London, who's been here for 16 years, I can't sleep at the moment, I can't think at the moment. All I'm doing is thinking about my Israeli friends and family in Israel who have been protesting relentlessly over the last 12 weeks against the judiciary reform that Netanyahu and his very right-wing government want to pass through government. And it's my duty, the minimum I can do is come and protest here, and especially when Netanyahu comes to London to meet with Sunak.
Yeah, it's very likely that he heard what you were saying. What was the message that you all wanted to give him today?
The message is that we are against his reform, that we will stand strong against it, and we will not stop at anything. We will continue protesting, and we will ensure that that legislation and all the legislations stop.
There were a lot of people here today that said they just simply don't agree. The history of what their families or what they feel their families have had to go through, they don't agree with that. Can you maybe speak to that a little bit as well?
Israel is almost 75 years old now. We're about to celebrate its 75th year of independence, and it's built on a strong democracy. We have fought long and hard to get to where we are now, a strong democracy, a strong economy, and within a matter of 12 weeks, Netanyahu and his government is trying to pass through all sorts of pieces of legislation to weaken the democracy and take all the power to the government, and we won't let him do that.
Thank you so much, Judy, and thank you for speaking to us today. Really, really appreciate it. And so that meeting has now taken place between Rishi Sunak and Benjamin Netanyahu, and the message was clear. They wanted their voices heard here today, and they're hoping that will be the case.
Frances, for the moment, thank you very much. Frances Read reporting there from central London. There's much more on that story about Benjamin Netanyahu visiting Downing Street and seeing Rishi Sunak against the context of those protests here and at home on the BBC News website and the BBC News app. You're watching BBC News.